Should public schools have uniforms? That is the question. That has haunted school districts for many years, and I think that it will always be a problem. I'm torn between sides, even though I really, in high school, I really do think that we don't need them. There is no problem. But right now, it's kind of like looking at the good sides, looking at the bad sides. The website, I use websites like that support and that are against, and like this. There was just one website that was like great schools that like had all the information. The reason you should listen is to help you choose which side you want to go on. Dress codes tell you what is appropriate to wear to school, but it doesn't take away your freedom. On the other hand, uniforms basically takes away your freedom. They tell you what to wear. You have to wear this, and if you wear something else, you'll have to pay consequences. In junior high school, or as a junior in high school, there was this debate going on that came up in school, and we had to vote on whether we should get whether we should get uniforms or whether we should not get uniforms. I was sick that day, so I didn't get to do it. But in the end, we lost. There's no school uniforms they wanted to bring in. There are more positives than there are negatives for school uniforms, but in my opinion, you'll see the negatives are going to outweigh the positives. Some positives, like for school uniforms, are they have been shown to improve test scores. They raise your school pride. They increase attendance. They reduce violence. They help students express themselves in ways others who don't the attire. Like, I guess those who have classics like Gothics, all that. There's like no stereotypes. Basically, there's no stereotype in school at all, I guess. It teaches them to dress neatly. Big deal, in my opinion. Big deal. It increases a sense of belonging. You're basically following the status quo. And if that's what they want to do, schools want you to follow the status quo. If you go there, you have to do it. If you don't go there, you don't. The downsides to having school uniforms are they're more expensive than regular uniforms. In public schools, half the parents there, they're using the free education that they pay with taxes. So it's definitely a negative. They cause disturbances. Well, it's gotta cause disturbances to school because teachers can't always keep track of who's wearing and who's not. You can't disrupt class for that, otherwise it's gonna be you can't learn. Clothing is used for students to express themselves. And in the Tinker versus Des Moines case, the judge ruled that students have constitutional rights to wear clothes they seem to fit, express themselves. And that's according to the great schools. Oh no, that's according to the NEF website that I cited. Other schools, the final downfall is that other schools who don't have uniforms, they're gonna come and they're gonna bully the schools that do, like football games. All the students will be wearing uniforms, while the other side won't. That's not really fair. Some schools already have uniforms. They encourage other schools to do the same, but is there proof that there's positive acquisition? You may wonder that. What I think started the movement for all public schools to want to have school uniforms was when President Clinton provided momentum to the school uniform movement when he said in his 1966 State of the Union speech, "If it means teenagers will stop killing each other over designer jackets, then our public schools should be able to require the students to wear school uniforms." And of course, the president says it should happen for safety reasons, but why follow? The school itself not being unique is causing their students not to be unique and express themselves, in my opinion. Virginia Dre did a study involving 64 schools in Ohio to test how uniforms affect the school. She said that it did a lot. It improved attendance, graduation, suspension rates. But David Brunsma did a similar study and concluded that there was no positive correlation between uniforms and school safety or academic achievement. So there's proof, but there's not, because it's always contradicting each other. And I got that from the great schools, which, if you want to learn more about it, you should look up it. And the article is called Public Schools and Uniforms. Overall, there are many, like I said before, there are many positive things about uniforms, and there's very little downfalls. But the downfalls are gonna outweigh the negative. If you're sending your kid to school where the school has uniforms, what are you gonna do? If you don't have the money to pay for it, and you're sending your child there for free education, basically. There's no, to me, in my opinion, I'm against it. I mean, moreover, I'm against it than torn right now. But what would you do if you had to choose whether schools should have uniforms or not? Especially if your children are going in there. Hopefully the information that I provided you guys will help you decide what you want to do.